Now, an important ingredient in starting a business or getting into a business is what we call the entrepreneurial mindset. Not everybody is an entrepreneur or a business person. Not everybody. It's not for everybody. And I'm putting that out front. For you to succeed in business, you have to have a real passion for business. You have to have a passion because business is hard work. If you don't have a passion for business, how are you going to be motivated to do this business? To compete, to struggle, right? The reason why you do these things is because as an entrepreneur, entrepreneurs have a passion for business. Therefore, it's something that they're very motivated to do. So the first thing you do before you even start a business is to do a self-assessment. Is entrepreneurship something for me? Is this something that if I start a business, would I have the, what they call the stick-to-itiveness? Would I stay with it for the long run? Now, if the answer is no, save your money. Don't go into business. But if the answer is yes, then that's all well and good. You could then move to the next stage of getting the business started. The first thing you do, if you're interested in business, you're motivated to be a business person, you have to have an idea that could turn into a commercial reality. You have to have an idea. And how you get these ideas? Sometimes it's stimulated by things like the international airport. But it also, what is happening around you in your community. You'll find that sometimes people need some things, some service or product, which they're not now getting. And it may be a product or service that you could provide, that you have the skills to develop. And that way it presents an opportunity to you to get into business. So the first thing you do is to get this idea of a business which you feel you have a market for, either in the community, nationally, or regionally, or internationally. And then you start to develop the concept so that basically the idea itself is not enough. You have to then transform that idea into some type of activity that you could do in business. And that is what we call developing the concept, from the idea to the concept. One of the things that you have to do in looking at this is what we call uniqueness. And uniqueness is the easiest way to gain competitive advantage when you start a business. And competitive advantage is important because you're competing with other people who could start up, who are probably in business already. And you have to carve out your own niche in the market. So you have to find, if you're going to do food, you have to do something different. What am I going to do different? Is it the way I design the building, the ambience, the entertainment, the type of food, the flavor? You have to find what is unique in your business or your business idea that would distinguish you from the competition, that would give you the competitive edge. Now, you're starting to, with all these things coming together, you're starting to get the rudiments of a business plan together. Because these are the types of ideas that stimulate the business plan, and the business plan grows out of this. And that brings us to the next stage, which is the actual business plan itself. Now, this is an important step in the process because it is cheaper to lose a few sheets of paper than to lose a lot of money in an investment where you didn't really plan properly. So you could use as much paper as you want to try out your idea, to see what could work, what would be sustainable, what would be profitable for you to do as a business activity. Now, it also gives you an idea, it also gives you the opportunity to look at different options, different alternatives in terms of what you could do. And in fact, sometimes in the process of developing the business plan, you get a totally different idea that is much better than the one you've been working on. So the process itself has some value to it. In going through that, you actually could move from one particular idea that you thought was maybe good, but might be a mediocre idea, might make you a lot of money. But in the process of doing it, you might get an idea that really is lucrative, really is a serious opportunity. So it's important to get that part of the activity done, a business plan developed. And this business plan could do two things, two functions. One, it provides you with a roadmap or a guide that you could follow to make sure that you meet your goals and objectives. It also assists you in leveraging financing for the business. And that brings me to the next point, financing. There are two main areas, two main types of funds or financing that business people utilize for starting businesses. One is what we call equity finance, and the other one is what we call debt financing. The equity financing have to do with investment, people investing in the business. Could be friends, family, could be institutions, if they have a venture capital facility, an angel investor. We don't have venture capital in St. Vincent, but certainly there are angel investors here. Not a lot of them, but there are some. And who knows, an uncle could be an angel investor in your own business. There's a very important source of financing, given that especially startups have a difficult time in raising financing because of what the perceived risk of the new startup is. So you find that there's always a struggle for individuals going to a commercial bank to try and get startup money. A lot of times that startup money have to come through something like an angel investor, somebody, a benefactor in the family, or friends who want to support it and believe in your idea. So that's one area. The other area is self-financing. And this is why at CD we like people to come to us when they just start to develop the idea, because sometimes you don't understand that you have to spend a few years saving the type of equity that would allow you to convince the bankers that they should invest in your particular idea. So that's something you have to take into account. You must have some stake in the business for any of the commercial financial institutions to take you seriously when you come to them to ask for a loan for your business. So that's something to consider. And I want to say here too, as startups, it have a lot of people who dream very big dreams. Nothing wrong with dreaming very big dreams. But you have to start within the resources that you have available to you. So it's always useful to start small and develop. Start small and grow. Another reason that is important is that you have an opportunity to work out the bugs in the system, to correct errors that you make without having very serious financial consequences at that early stage. Now, if you go and invest big in something, say $100,000, and then that failed, you lose $100,000. But if you started small, well, say like a $5,000, you lose a lot less money if that business fails. So it's always good to start small, develop your methodologies and so on, get the process perfect, and then you could expand once you see the business succeeding into something that could be sustainable in the long run. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we have a number of financial institutions that are available that provide financing for small businesses. The two main specific type of finance for small business or institutions that finance small businesses right now in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is the National Development Foundation and Comfy, which is a new microfinance company set up by the Cooperative Credit Union League in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The reason why this is important is that because the focus of these institutions are small and micro business development, you would find that you might have an easier time accessing the loans, the finance from this institution than you have going straight to a commercial bank. Now, it doesn't mean that at some point the business might not develop big enough to actually go to one of the financial institutions, because all businesses have what we call a life cycle. So depending on the stage of development of the business, you have different mixes of finances required that would be appropriate for that particular business at that point in time. Now that change over time, because as the business mature, you probably would be dealing with mainly debt financing rather than equity financing and so on, which you would deal with at the earlier stages in the business life cycle.